Love is in the air. Everywhere I look around. How close do you want me to be? Oh my God. This is like something else.
Love and relationships.
Love and relationships. I love that song, Love is in the Air, especially around Valentine's Day weekend. Just love that song. I'm surrounded by love everywhere I go these days. Actually, for the past 10 years, I see love in people, I see love in nature, and I see love in myself. But it wasn't always that way. Most of my life, I lived with a lot of shame, a lot of fear, self doubt, and a lot of pain. Yeah, where am I? I felt rejected by everyone I loved. My whole adult life, I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I always was seeking approval from other people. I never felt loved, and I certainly did not believe I was lovable. When I was 15, my dad and my stepmother thought I was a troubled child. They found out that I was skipping math class to go out with a 19-year-old boy. Okay, it's 4 years older than me, but we weren't doing anything. I was a virgin. So they found out about this teenage retreat and they forced me to go. I actually loved the retreat because as a child I wasn't allowed to have friends, and it was nice to hang out with the teenagers of people my own age. So I really loved that. And then the next thing I remember about the retreat is the very last night. The very last night, the group leader told us to sit in a circle. There was about 20 of us, 20 kids. And so we were all in a circle, and he was holding envelopes in his hands. And he said that on the Friday night, he asked all our parents to write their kids a love letter. And the letter is supposed to say how much they love their kids and what they appreciate about us. So when he said that, I was so excited. I had so many butterflies inside because I was full of joy and excitement. I couldn't wait to hear what my dad and stepmother felt about me. So one by one, he starts calling the kids. And I'm looking at the kids' faces and I'm excited, waiting my turn. And the kids open the letter and it's like everybody is so happy. And then there are no more letters in his hands. And I'm looking at every other kid. Everybody has a letter. But I don't have a letter. Where's my frigging letter? So all the other the butterflies I used to have, they died. Now I have no more joy in my heart. I was so sad. So sad because everybody had a love letter and I didn't. I mean, all my parents had to do was write a fucking letter that says how much they love me. A few sentences would have been enough. Heck, the words, I love you, Lise, would have been sufficient. For me at that time, it would have made up for all the abuse I experienced years prior to that retreat. That's how much I was so looking forward to this letter. And the other kids asked me, Lise, where's your letter? I couldn't even say anything, so I just shrugged my shoulders. I was so humiliated and devastated. So now the group leader opens the door to let the parents in. And then I see all the children going to their parents, and everybody's hugging each other. And I'm just still sitting on the floor, and I'm watching all this love between the parents and the kids. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't have that. I don't have this kind of love. Nobody loves me. My parents don't love me. As I'm sitting there, my heart grows cold. The butterflies are dead. My heart is getting colder, and I'm feeling numb. And then I see my parents finally walking in late. And my stepmom, I remember her face when she sees me and she says, no, she sees me, right? And she has a smile on her face. And then I remember saying, what the fuck are you smiling at? So then I walk with them to the car. And in the car, my stepmom says, so how was the retreat? I said, fine. You know the famous word, fine. And then she kept asking me more questions, and I gave them the silent treatment. And then my mom said, well, she was frustrated because I was not answering her. And she said, what a waste of money that was. You're so messed up. You'll never get better. You're a bad kid. In my head, I said, fuck you. You don't love me. My dad doesn't love me. Nobody loves me. And in the car, on our way home, it was an hour drive. I kept thinking, what did the children think of me? Did they think I was a bad kid? Did they think I was a loser? They must have thought I was a bad daughter, because I was the only one that didn't get a letter. I thought I was unlovable for years. I believed there was something wrong with me and that I was not deserving of love from anyone. Now, there are so many ways that people feel unloved. I hear it from clients all the time that they don't feel loved because some of them have been abandoned as a kid. Maybe their parents divorced and it affected them. Maybe they were bullied at school. Maybe their parents preferred a different child and they got all the love, and that kid was the black sheep of the family. There are so many reasons why people can feel unloved. I carried the feelings of not being lovable or worthy in all my relationships. I never felt good enough. I never felt loved. I always had a void inside. And to fill that void, I was looking for love in all the wrong places, with all the wrong men. At one point in my life, I thought all the men were the same. It was, all the men are losers, they're all pigs, they're all abusers, they're all cheaters. I never felt valued or respected by any man in my life. Until I was about 43 years old, I believed it was always the guys' fault. That there was a lack of high quality men in the world. But back in 2010, I had had enough. And I had decided to do some inner work on myself. And I discovered that I was holding on to a lot of shame, a lot of pain in my life from the past. And this prevented me from appreciating who I was and from loving myself. I hear it all the time in the kind of work that I do with people that they also think that they're not lovable. There's like an epidemic out there of people thinking and believing that they don't deserve love, that somehow they're not worthy. And as a culture, this culture, like this past several years, we're so connected to our darn phones and social media, and we're forgetting to actually talk to people one-on-one. Now on Facebook and Instagram, it's all about, look at me, look at what I ate for dinner, look at the places I've been, look at me with all my hair perfect and my makeup on. And there's so many apps out there on our phones to filter, our wrinkles and our acne. They don't have acne. There's even apps that reshape your face. If you don't like your jawline, they reshape it. That is not real, people. It is not real at all. And people prefer to go online to find love instead of actually having a conversation with the guy or the woman at the coffee shop. A lot of people feel that they don't have the confidence, that they will never find the kind of love that they're seeking. That's what I hear from my clients all the time. People are afraid to end up alone. It's not that there are bad people out there. It's that people are not loving who they are. And when we don't love who we are, when we feel this way, when we feel our self-esteem is so low, it's easy for us to accept bad behaviors from people. We tolerate shit that we should never tolerate, all in the name of love. We think that, well, if we give them just so much more time, a lot more love, they'll change. But it doesn't work that way. Once I did the inner work, my life transformed. And I want to share with you 3 things. That's 4, Lise. 3 things that I did that changed my life. It was the beginning, anyway. The first thing is that I started to heal the pain that I was holding on to most of my life from my past. Because I was sexually, physically, and emotionally abused from the ages of 3 to 12 by my dad, by other people in my family. And the thing is, I didn't even realize that I had this pain inside. But I found the courage to let go of this pain. And I discovered that accepting the kind of life I had, all the shit that happened, and accepting who I really am, that it's fundamental. It's fundamental to have love. And number 2 is that I started to focus on my qualities, on my strengths, on my gifts, on my talents. And I discovered how unique I am. And you know what? I'm pretty darn awesome. Even if I have to use notes on stage. I have the freedom to be myself and to be who I really am. And the third thing, again, I started to talk to myself with love and compassion. I gave myself compliments. I patted myself on the back. I became my number 1 fan. And now I have joy. I have joy and love in my heart. And my life is fabulous. I actually lead a vibrant life. You see, when we live with our heart full of love for ourselves, it's easier to love others. And true love is attracted to us. But we need to love ourselves first. And loving ourselves is not about getting your nails done and having your makeup done and buying clothes. It's in your head. It's all the shit you should stop saying about yourself. When we live with love in our hearts, we begin to have higher standards. And we demand respect from others. And we stop tolerating bad behaviors. We choose to surround ourselves with great people. I wasn't given the right kind of love that a child deserves. But once I chose to give myself the love that I was lacking, my world changed. I now live I now live with love in my heart. I never had that 10 years ago. I was always hating myself, always wanted to be somebody else. I live now knowing who I am, and I am loving who I am because I have a lot to offer this world. God created me wonderfully, and God loves me. It's been my passion to help people love themselves so they can attract healthy relationships. And if this resonates with you at all, there is a way out. I've created a free relationship readiness assessment to determine where you're at in your own life. And please understand that you're not alone. Most of us, we sit at home and we think nobody else is lonely. There's a lot of lonely people out there. You're not alone. And if you need to talk to somebody, reach out to me because I would love to talk to you. And I want to leave you with one more thing. Remember that God loves you. And the second thing, every single one of you is deserving of love. Thank you.